Joining me is one of Australia's best featherweights, one of the standouts in that country, Kaan Ofli. Thank you, Kaan, for the time. How you feeling, man? It's been over a year.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we last spoke. Feeling good. Everything's on track. Training's on track. The body's feeling good. Um, Obviously, competition has been a bit hard this year for a lot of people, but thankfully enough, I've had a good team around me, and we've used this time to really improve and sharpen up our game.
Yeah, I wanted to start with that first. Is 2020, man? It was a year of missed opportunities for a lot of people because of where they were located, and especially yourself, man. Australia was locked down
Mm.
completely. If you were to get out of the country, you'd have to get some kind of special permission, and you had to have like an organization that was basically had the funds to do it, right? So for yourself, take us through that year and the frustrations probably that you've went through.
Yeah, I guess Australia was one of the places that did probably one of the hardest lockdowns besides Wuhan. Um, Yeah, so forget about flying. Like we couldn't really go to cafes or do anything here. I experienced lockdown in Thailand. Sorry, the lights just went off, but I experienced a lockdown in Thailand before I even got to Melbourne. And that was like a hard curfew, pretty hard lockdown there as well. So it wasn't. It was kind of like I had experienced it already when I got back home. But for fights, yeah, it was pretty much impossible. There was a few Aussies and New Zealanders that fought in Abu Dhabi on the UFC, but I guess it was a bit more successful for them with having the UFC behind them to help them with the exemptions and whatnot. And just recently, we thought we'd have some shows going here in Australia. Eternal announced a few shows, and well, they announced one in my city in Melbourne. It was meant to happen this week, and it got cancelled last week, just because of once again our interstate restrictions and guys not being able to fly over. And so that was shit. I didn't end up getting matched though. So in all honesty, I wasn't too bummed, but I was bummed out for my teammates that couldn't fight.
I noticed that that's one thing that's interesting about Australia. You would think that the whole country would have the same rules, but really it's not that way. Every state, is it a state or province? What is it in Australia?
Yeah, states. We call them states. You're right. It was really strange because not only were the states locked out from each other, well, some of them, we all had different rules. You know what I mean? In one state, you had to wear a mask and this and that, and the other one you didn't. And yeah, it was really strange. Like we're one country and only 1 hour away, you've got these different measures and whatnot. So it was a bit weird, but we're kind of past it now. Things are really eased up now. Life feels somewhat normal here, besides travel. Um, but yeah, I guess the uncertainty is everywhere.
Also, now the situation has completely changed. You guys are able to go out, train, and businesses are open. Everything's good.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're back at. The gyms were closed and everything, but um, yeah, we're back in the gym. I never really stopped training over the lockdown. We had a little bubble and we had some exemptions for professional athletes to still train. So very, very grateful for that. And Simon, the coach, putting things together, putting up a good schedule together to keep the good boys keep working and improving. So blessing for us in terms of being able to train and I guess socialize and be with the homies. But yeah, everything else was a bit yeah, a bit shit.
There was a few promotions that they did have shows last year. I think XFC had a couple shows and Eternal had shows, but that was isolated though. I believe that those shows were in Perth, which is probably on the other. It's Melbourne's on the other side of the country, right?
Australia is so big, bro. Like even in your city, you're like, I need to get to this one place that's half an hour away, and everything is just so far away from each other. Let alone the different states. So yeah, like I said, every state did have different rules and whatnot. Perth and Queensland were a bit more relaxed, but there was definitely shows that happened, but there wasn't interstate fighters, on that. It was just if you're from Melbourne, it's a Melbourne card, or Queensland fighters. So they were able to get away with it. But I guess it didn't work this time around for Melbourne.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people are complaining about they can't leave their country, but you're like, man, I can't even leave my state to go fight. So 2020, you know, you didn't fight at all. Were you matched up any? Did promotions reach out to you? Were you trying to get fights?
Um, I didn't really get any offers at all, to be honest. We were pushing really hard to get a match up in Australia, only because it was just going to be a lot easier to travel in Australia to avoid, quarantining or, just the whole hassle of, traveling, especially in times like this. Um, but no, I couldn't get a match up. We asked a few guys. We asked a few guys ahead of me in the topology rankings, but we weren't too successful with that. So it's all good. You can't force people to take fights and whatnot. So my last few fights have been international, and that's the way that I've been looking and heading. And so that's kind of what we're looking at now. Like we're trying to get back overseas somewhere to Abu Dhabi or possibly America.
Is that the attitude for you right now? Is like Australia, nobody wants to fight me. I'm kind of past it now. I need to go and fight guys internationally. That's the focus.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm.
That's the stage that we're at right now. If I can get a fight in Australia, I'll take it. I'll do it. But there's a fight that's on my mind, and yeah, it seems like that's what's going to happen. I'm going to fly out somewhere and have a fight there this year.
Mm. All right. Well, like you mentioned, you fought internationally a few times. Right now, you are on a win streak, and two of those fights were for one was for Brave, and the last fight that you had in 2019 was for UAE Warriors. That was an incredible fight. You know what I mean? First round finish. Take us back to fighting in UAE, man, because I heard it's incredible.
Yeah, Brave is awesome as well. They're both, I guess, Arab promotions. I didn't when I fought on Brave, it was in Jakarta though, so I couldn't really experience the whole Dubai, Abu Dhabi vibe, and it was really cool. It was really cool. I met a lot of people. The promotion, the guys that run UAE are just amazing. They're on a different level. So it was really good to be a part of something like that, and obviously to put on a good performance was my objective anyway.
Man, you missed out on a whole year, which is like for a fighter that is 5 years, right? You want to
Mm.
compete, you want to build that momentum, and I know you had some plans too to go stateside last year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and all of that got axed, right? Are you still planning on doing that when everything opens back up?
Yeah, that's still on my mind, either for to fight or to do a training camp. One of the two. I'd still like to just kind of get out to America and just get some different looks and just say that I've done it anyway, just for myself. Um, that's kind of where the fight world is anyway, though. Like so in terms of being active now we're getting closer to, signing with a big promotion. And if I want to be, being active and if I want to be fighting more, then, ideally you want to be around, promotions that are happening so frequently, every week and whatnot. So it is on our minds. Really, it's just one step at a time now. We can't really make a whole lot of plans and whatnot. Let's see, I guess, what happens in the next few months with traveling around the world. But yeah, let's see.
Well, it looks like if you are in the US, you could actually fly out to other countries a lot easier than it would be from Australia. So I guess if you get out there, it might open some more opportunities for you to fight internationally.
I think it will. I think it will. I think just having my presence there around them type of people, um, that's how this thing works. You know what I mean? You put yourself in the right place, right time, then you can make things happen for yourself.
And I heard from some people that you do have some interest from some promotions stateside. You just got to get over there. But I don't want to expose too much on that. But I wanted to talk about something else, man. UAE Warriors, you had a great fight last year or in 2019. I heard that they're trying to put a fight together right now between you and the champ.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
is that something in the works? Can you reveal anything about that?
Man, that's been in the works since I got to Abu Dhabi. Um, when I flew over there, there was only two featherweight fights on. That was my fight, and then there was the title fight with Rolando Dai and the champion, the Korean champion. So in my mind, when I was flying over there, yeah, I was fighting Walid, whatever, but at the same time, I'm like, if anything happens, I'm ready to fight for the title tonight, like, you know, this time round. So, and funny enough, fight week, Rolando Dai was having trouble cutting weight. You know, the guy was, I guess, I don't know what happened with his weight. And I remember seeing him in the lobby, and the guy had like fucking shaved parts of his head and whatnot. And he shaved his hair to try and make the weight. And I was like, damn, like he's really struggling. And then and there, we had started talking about making that fight happen. You know, my manager was already talking to the matchmaker of UAE Warriors, and we're like, hey, if, you know, tonight, tomorrow, if Rolando can't make the weight, like Kaan's stepping up. So that was already running through my mind. I was already sizing him up, you know, in the lobby. We even were cutting weight in the same little gym area, you know. So I'm doing my thing, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, you know, you're on my mind as well right now. So that's kind of where it all started. Rolando made the weight. That fight went on. He got knocked out. You know, I wonder why, but you know, it is what it is. And then since then, I've been asking for that fight. You know, I haven't been vocal about it or anything like that, but I've been asking the fight, you know, to my manager, to UAE Warriors, and we're working on it, you know. So here's today to, I guess, make some more noise. And let's see what happens with it. You know, I want that fight this year.
So you had a feeling that Rolando was gonna get beat that night then?
Yeah, for sure. He was running his mouth too much. You know, at the press conference and whatnot, I was like, you know, you got to be humbled, boy. You know what I mean? Like he was talking a lot of shit, and when I seen him struggling to make that weight cut as well, I was like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like I already kind of had a feeling what was going to happen, and it did. You know what I mean? If you're cutting a whole heap of weight, then you know you're in danger of getting knocked out, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I kind of predicted it.
Lee, the champ, he defended his title once in 2020. Was that supposed to be again for you? Was that title fight supposed to be for you, but you couldn't get out of Australia?
A little bit, yeah. There was talks about that one. I guess they wanted him to fight a grappler, and they put him up against a grappler. But I was really struck. Like it's a lot more relaxed now, where we can apply for exemptions and fly out. I'm not going to have an issue with, you know, getting to Abu Dhabi now, but back then it was definitely a lot harder. Yeah, that fight, I guess. I feel like that was an easy fight for him, to be honest. The guy's not that experienced. He's just a straight grappler. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really impressed by that performance at all.
From what I heard, Lee, he's wanting to return and defend the title in the next couple of months. Is that something in your mind right now? It's like, okay, whenever he feels like he wants to come back, just send me that contract and I'm gonna sign it and we're gonna fight.
That's what's gonna happen, man. Like the next one, I believe, is in 2 days, I believe. So we'll get the next date announced soon for the UAE Warriors, and you know, let's do it, bro. Let's do it. You know, he wants to defend the title again. You know, there's some little bit of history there. We've already met each other. You know what I mean? We've been there together. So I feel like it's the right fight to make. I feel like it's going to be a really exciting fight too, and it's gonna be really good.
How do you feel? You know, skill for skill. You know, you've watched two of his fights. How do you feel like you stack up against him?
I believe I'm just a better fighter. I believe I'm a stronger fighter. He's more of a Korean pop star. No offense, bro. I know you're Korean, all right? But when I look at him, he's acting like a bit of a pop star, all right? Not so much of a fighter, bit of a pop star. So yeah, look how I stack up against him. I believe I'm a hard fight. I see myself beating him everywhere, you know. In the grappling, wrestling, striking department. I feel like I can expose him everywhere and finish him too.
So if you could make a prediction, like how you finish him, when you finish him. What do you think?
I don't know. He's been knocked out two, three times.
Mm-hmm.
He's been out grappled. He's been choked. Do you know what I mean? He's been choked. He's been knocked out. I don't know if he's been beaten by decision, but that just shows it there that I can beat him anywhere. You know, it's an MMA fight. Like whatever happens, happens. I'm not gonna, predict something and say that's what I'm gonna go for. You know, at the end of the day, when I go into a fight, I'm not saying, hey, I'm gonna go out and submit this guy. I go out there and I'm saying I'm gonna beat this guy. I'm gonna find a way, find that opening, and I'm gonna take it. You know, if it's on the ground, if it's in the striking, whatever it is. You know, so. I'm not going to make no predictions because it's not really how my mind works.
Now with Lee, you know, what I mean, I interviewed him around a month ago or so, and I asked him like, who do you feel like is the next challenger for the title? And he said he has no idea. You know, what I mean, it's just whoever wants to challenge for the title, and it seems like it's wide open. And you're doing a great job, man. You gotta, if you want something, you gotta ask for it, man. You gotta push for it, and it seems
It's
like
me.
not many guys are doing that.
If he's confused, he shouldn't be. It's me. He knows who it is now. I am the challenger. I want the fight. He's a Korean pop star, and that's what I want. I want to smash his face.
So you want to take his Korean pop star status and and the belt too at the same time.
I like the belt.
Yeah.
The belt. I believe will look better on me. I don't know about being a pop star, but I'll take that as well.
All right, all right. Well, then I'm looking forward to it, man. It's good to see someone taking the initiative, and I think it's a good matchup. I think it's something that will be much more competitive than his other two title fights. And
For sure.
yeah, man. Hopefully, we'll see something in the news that you guys are matched up, and the next title fight is coming, man. Kaan, I appreciate you coming on and giving me this time, and good luck to you in getting this fight and seeing what can happen, man, with it.
Thanks, fella. Thank you. All the best.